Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to heat the bunker with two of the Coleman candeliers. Right? As you can see here, I've put fresh candles in each of them. The other one is right there if you can see it. Right? So we're going to go ahead and insert into our Coleman candelier into the base. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you where the temperature is outside, where the temperature is inside. I'm going to show you where I placed them. And I'm going to do a check-in every hour, let's say for about the next 6 hours or so, to see if we can maintain the temperature in the bunker. That way you can see if this is an option for you to be able to heat one small room in your house in case something happens where you just cannot heat your entire house. All right, so let's get started. All right, so as you can see here, I've got my thermometer outside, and this is the digital, I think you can see the digital LCD screen. You can see that outside it's only 3 degrees above Fahrenheit, which is not really cold up here. But you can see that the inside temperature is 58 degrees. Don't pay attention to the time because that clock is wrong. I think it's around 7:30 something right now. But I have something that I'm going to set up next to this so that you can see this along with my tablet, which will have the time when we start it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and light our candeliers. And we're going to put the actual lantern on top of them. So you can see here, I've cut the wicks down to about 1/4 inch or so. So we're going to go ahead and light one at a time. It's really easy to put this base on. You just cover it. And then there's a few little slots. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there's a little slot here. I'm not sure there's a button. Then all you do is that. See that? Very easy. Now, there's a couple of things that I have to show you first before we start. First of all, I have a ceiling fan running. But I always have that ceiling fan running all the time because it helps to disperse the heat throughout the entire bunker. So since I have it running all the time, with using my electric heater and my propane heater whenever I use it, I'm going to leave it running this time. Now, let me show you where I'm going to place the two Coleman candeliers. This is the little heater that I normally use to heat the bunker. This little thing is awesome. As you can see here, I've got it on the medium setting, and it's a little bit halfway, more than halfway from minimum to max on the medium setting, and it keeps my bunker during the night at about 58 degrees. So this does a great job. And at the medium setting, and at this setting right here, it's pulling about 700 watts. And for those of you that want to see my propane direct vent heater, that's it right there. Oh, first of all, look at here, look at here. See this? This is not plugged in, and I just turned this off. This is my propane heater, and you can see here that it is on the off position. Okay, you can't see any kind of a pilot in there because there is none on, it's off. All right, so let's go ahead and place our Coleman candeliers on top of this heater, which is where I'm going to keep it. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be very safe when you're doing these things. What I'm showing you here is for entertainment purposes alone. And I have to say that because I'm on the internet. But you have to be very safe. I will not leave this bunker while those candeliers are on until I turn them off. That's why I said about 6 hours. I really want to do it for like 8 hours straight, but 6 hours should be enough time for us to gauge whether those candeliers are going to be able to keep the temperature in here around the same that it was before I turned off my electric heater. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you make sure you have one of those and also one of these. This is a carbon monoxide detector. And let me go ahead and turn on. We can see that it's 7:43, so let's call it 7:40 on October 31st. And here is our outside temperature, 2 degrees. And right now it's showing 59 degrees inside the bunker. So I want to show that this is going to work well enough where someone can take a small room that averages about 120 square feet or so, and they can seal that room in and keep warm in the direst of emergencies. Now, this bunker, the outside dimensions are 12 by 12, so that's 144 square feet. However, the inside dimensions, after the walls, after the wall coverings and everything like that, is about 11 feet by 11 feet. So we can call that easily 120 square feet, right? 121 if you want to be exact. But this is about 120 square feet. And your average small room in your garden variety 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home here in the U.S. at least is about 120 square feet or so. All right, so I think that it's a good way to get away from the cold if you have a house that you cannot heat completely, and insulate or seal in a room. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you have a carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide detector, whatever they call that thing. I always mess up those words. Make sure that you have a detector, a fire extinguisher as well. Again, do your own research before doing this. I feel very comfortable with doing this because I've done it before. So we will go ahead and check in with you in about an hour at 8:40 a.m. All right, it's 8:41 a.m., October 31st, and it's struggling to keep up, ladies and gentlemen. We got 57 degrees and then 56 degrees on this one. But it's, I think, a little bit better than that in this room. And let me show you why. See that? It's reading 58, 58. So I was wondering why it's struggling to keep up, to stay at about 60 degrees, which is my goal. So I took a look at the video that I made last year, and what I figured out is that these were a lot closer to the floor. And I think that that may affect it as far as how well it distributes the heat that is going off of it. And it was towards the middle of the room. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these down. I'm going to put them on the floor. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Check this out. I have a third one. My goal is to keep it at about 60 degrees in here, because to me that is comfortable, right? To me that is comfortable. But again, we should also have like blankets and stuff like that. But the point that I'm trying to make with this video is that you can keep a room warm enough where you're not going to freeze. So I think they'll do a little bit better there as far as distributing the heat that's coming off of them. So if you would have noticed earlier on, you would have noticed that this, the temperature on this was like 54 or 55, something like that. It's because I normally put this next to the window, right? But now they're reading about the same thing, 56 each, right there in that position that it's at right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 10:46, and we are holding steady at about 55 degrees, which I'm not very happy with that. But you can see that outside the temperature went up by about 2 degrees. It's 4 degrees Fahrenheit. But I want you to check this out. I have a problem with the actual thermometers inside of here. All right, because check this out. You see it's 55 degrees. Now take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and aim it right at the thermometer. Let me see if I can back up. Look at that. 57, 58 degrees right on the face of the thermometer, but it still reads 55. And it feels comfortable in here. It feels more comfortable than 55. And you see, same thing with this one. Let me see if I can put it so you can see it. But there you go, 58, 57.9 degrees on this one, and they both read 55. So either way, as you can see, we've got all three of them going. And of course, my fan is still going. I think that does help a little bit. So we've got several more hours to go. Let's go ahead and I'll check in another hour or so. Well, I have a meeting here, so it might be a little later, but we'll check in about an hour or so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little bit late checking in on this one, but as you saw, there's 12:06. I actually just got done doing an interview with someone on a podcast, but we are holding steady at about 55. But man, I'll tell you what, this is annoying to me because check this out. 58. Right on the face of that. 57.8. You can say 58. And look at this one right here. Same thing, 57.8 or so. But you can pretty much say 58. So I'll say that and let's see, right here in front of this. 57.8, 58. So it's kind of annoying that these guys are showing 55. I'm not sure if you can calibrate those or if that's what they need or whatever, but it doesn't matter. But you can see that the temperature outside is 6. Above, we've got our 3 candeliers going. And I would have to say that for the naysayers out there, that you can definitely survive on 55, 58 degrees, whatever it may be in here. We can call it 55. Right now, I've got my shorts on. So you can see my hairy legs. I got my shorts on and I'm pretty comfortable. But then again, I'm pretty used to, or I'm acclimated to colder weather. You know, I can go outside with my shorts and spend 10, 15 minutes at 6 degrees. I probably spend about half an hour out there with no problem. But that's where we're at. A little after 12. We'll come back here in another hour or so and then we'll finish it off. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looks like after a little over 5 hours. My wife just pulled a quick one on me and told me that we had plans for this afternoon, so I'm going to have to cut it about an hour short of what I was originally intending on running this. But it seems that it's stabilized at about 55 degrees in here. Now, well, let's see. What's the time? So there you go. We started at 8:41, I think it was. So now it's 1:50. It's stabilized at about 55 degrees, and you can see that it's 8 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I'm kind of disappointed. I don't know what I did different last time, but I got much better results last time than I did this time around. However, the question is this: can you survive? Can you survive at this temperature right here if you had to in a small room? I would do this if it was a very big emergency where this is all I had. I think it's a good idea to have a few of these candeliers and to have maybe 2 or 3 boxes of candles that can get you through a day. It's not something that you definitely want to use as a primary source of heat for the first thing that you use during an emergency. And as I've said, we've gone through about a little over 5 hours. I'm not sure if you can see down there or not, but the candles are only about 1/3 of the way used. So we've gone for roughly 5 hours. The candles on this one and this one are about 1/3 of the way used. The candle, I'm not sure if you can see it down there. Let's see, like down there. The candle on this one that I put on later, I turned these on later on, is maybe 1/4 or less than 1/4 of the way used. So you definitely get your 9 hours of use time that these candles are rated for. However, like I said, I'm kind of disappointed that it's only 55 degrees when I was able to maintain 60 degrees or so the last time that we did this. And the setup was a little bit different than it is now. Maybe that has something to do with it. But can you survive in this temperature? If the answer is yes, then go ahead and prepare for surviving in this temperature. Get yourself extra blankets. Wool blankets, in my opinion, would be the best to use. And I have to say that this did the job and that it would do the job. I would feel comfortable using this should I ever have to in a dire emergency. But that would be after I used all of my other backups before going to this. And as you can see here, let's walk over here. There's my little heater. You can see it's still in the exact same place that we had it before. And this is still off. I can touch this. It's not hot or anything, so I never used any of this to try to fool any of you. And why would I do that? That would make no sense. But I do know that some people out there may say something like that. I was hoping that it would perform a little bit better. I do know that if I put on my Aladdin lantern, that thing puts out like 450, 500 degree heat. That would probably make a bigger dent on the temperature. But today's test was just testing this out. I truly do hope that you got something out of it. And at the very least that this video encouraged you to go and look for things that you may be able to use to keep warm this winter. Just in case, ladies and gentlemen, that's what preparedness is all about. Having said that, have a great day. Thank you very much for joining in. God bless every one of you. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out. God bless.